Oh, it actually is live now. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
Working for my laptop today, so everything is a little different. I'm
a little slower for folks.
But we are live. We're live. I'm a little darker, less lit, but I'm here. So
also, all your computers appear to have been stolen.
I'm living in a shack. I'm going through rough times right now. It's all right. It's fair. It's all right.
We don't want to start any rumors of
my demise.
Your demise. Yeah. How was your 4th of July?
It was.
Did you blow something up in the name of patriotism in America?
Man, here in Houston, like it was so muggy. Like it's rained like 40 days out of like 60.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's like an armpit. Like it's just the air
hot and humid.
Air was so thick. I was smoking a cigar and I'd blow the smoke into the air and it would just drop.
Oh Jesus!
Like everything was just like you could like cut it. You could like swim outside. It was so bad.
And then a thunderstorm.
Yeah. So it was so bad. But so when we went outside to go see fireworks and whatnot, we were getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. Like I've got bites all over my face.
Hey, thanks for jumping on, Adam.
Hey, Adam. But all in all, yeah, we had a great time. We watched some fireworks. I bought some sparklers. I have some bottle rockets that I was going to like let the kids kind of light up, but I never got a chance to. So they'll go in the closet.
Under safe storage protocols, right?
Safe storage, yeah, of course, absolutely.
Hey Tim, thanks for jumping on.
Let's kick this off right. I'm running off from my laptop.
Post Independence Day episode. Let's rock.
Yeah. Let's July. Let's go. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Christ, episode 131. Welcome.
Wow.
It is
really
July.
That many? That's amazing.
It is July. It is the 7th month of the year 2021. We are in full motion. We are more than halfway done with this year, and
we are.
Yeah, here we are. That lead up was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Here we are, halfway through the summer, halfway through the year.
I mean, it's like
point.
I think it's weird because all my hobbies still feel like they're on hold because of COVID, because of chip shortages, because of like
all
my hobbies, like all my tech hobbies, all my video game hobbies, everything just feels like it's being held back, like artificially, but obviously because of a pandemic, right? Like
that's fair. I mean, all my Kickstarters from 2 years ago have finally started shipping, so I'm finally going to get my Reaper miniatures soon, and then Dwarven Forge says they're going to ship soon, so soon being sometime this year.
Yeah, sometime this year.
Yeah, right. You're right. There's been a lot of delays in that aspect, but like I got to play board games 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you can fire some bottle rockets at kids.
Yeah, bottle rockets at kids. Yeah, my neighborhood we had two different stands. They go back and forth with battling each other with when it comes down to like prices and whatnot. And both of them were out of Roman candles when I went, and I went early, so they must have. I wanted to like have the kids like shoot each other. Of course,
yeah, exactly. You guys, everyone shot fire at Roman candles at each other, right? I just want to make sure that was something that people did. My buddy from college related to me a story of July 4th that I had never heard before. He said that he was a young kid driving down the BQE, the Bronx Queens Expressway, on July 4th. It's surrounded by apartment buildings on all sides.
I understood that reference.
Yes. And folks were actually firing Roman candles at the cars.
That's awesome.
So all these like sparks are blowing up in the cars. So of course no one's driving because it's dangerous to drive with the fireworks. But he's like, he remembers it so fondly because it was so awesome to be under like siege from Roman candles coming out of apartment buildings.
Oh,
which
God.
I was like, oh, that sounds awesome, and it makes me a little homesick as well for the ludicrous fireworks displays.
And then you end up you end up triggering someone with PTSD because of that crap. Like it's just like
I mean, it isn't sensitive to people's needs. That is very true. Dogs don't do well, veterans, so everyone who suffers through the 4th of July, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the puppers hate it. Some of them do, some of them don't. Like
the idea of like 30 or 40 Roman candles bouncing off some cars.
Oh no, totally. I
loved it. Exactly. I loved the image of it.
I would have had one. I would have handed one to each of my family members and just like lit and go.
Oh yeah, my dad would hand it to us. Go hit your brother, and we chase each other. Right. So yeah. When I was a kid, there was a block of Sunday Kids that would shoot them across the streets between the buildings. Yeah, that's exactly. You just fire at each other.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that they're not legal in the city limits, right?
Nope.
Yeah, but somehow or another, there were still fireworks all over New York. Like
you always knew a guy who knew a guy who had a car, right? Like Pennsylvania was right over the state line. It was easy.
Can we talk about the fact that fireworks have gone up exponentially in price since I was a kid? I remember my dad would be like, I tell my dad, hey, let's go get fireworks. Okay. And then we'd pack up 5 kids, from the neighborhood. They jump into the car. Everyone had like $20. We'd go in, buy $20 worth of fireworks, and we'd walk out with handfuls. I spent $40 and got 2 packs of sparklers and 8 bottle rockets.
Wow.
$40.
I like shooting the bees once. Those are awesome, right?
Yeah, they right on the ground and they go.
Those are pretty awesome. I haven't had to buy fireworks in a while. I was surprised at the cost of sparklers here in New York. And I guess this year they opened it up, so there was like a short window of time you can go and buy fireworks in New York State. So there was fire. I know. So and then the window closed, so I assume everyone just stocked up for as long as they needed fireworks. Right? Just bought out whole shelves.
Oh my God. A pack, like a box of artillery shells was like $80.
Those are the aerial M80s. Is that
the big. So they're the mortar shells.
A box of mortar shells. I don't.
So let's talk about that. And again,
America.
Only in America. And because of that, we lost a Canadian because of it.
We lost a Canadian because of it?
Lost a Canadian because of 4th of July. If you weren't aware, we had if you didn't read the news, there was an NHL player.
Oh, no. Rest in peace.
Dude. So his name was Matis Kivlenkis. Anywho, he took a
Kivlenkis. You got it. Got it.
He goaltender for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He died on Sunday night after a firework accident. Someone shot him in the chest with a mortar.
What? As a joke?
As like a, hey, this one hurt.
Stop this goalie. Boom, right in the chest. That's
Yep.
That's
it was
brutal.
Straight up chest trauma.
I'm with you, Rita. That's really super sad. Like anywhere else would have been fine, but it just winds up being that you shouldn't point fireworks at each other. I'm in Flatbush now, and it felt like a war was outside yesterday, right? So especially since overrated, right? Those tight spaces, the firing, things would explode, right? You just it echoes everywhere. I have fond memories of filling the street with smoke and fire and sparks.
And I love all the cops turn an eye towards that. They don't give a crap.
After them, it's their party. Most of them probably sold it out of their trunk, right?
Yeah, that's all the stuff they confiscated all through the year. They empty out the evidence lockers.
J'accuse NYPD. J'accuse.
So 4th of July is always great.
It's a good holiday.
It's a great holiday. It
happens at a good time in the middle of the summer, so it's good stuff. I hope everyone was safe and sound, and explosions are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for the dogs and all the folks that is not awesome
except for the puppers. I know it's bad. I wish there was I don't know. I don't know what's the compromise on that. On one side, like I love fireworks and I love all that, but I also hate how the dogs get all stressed out.
So are there dog headphones?
There's all sorts of stuff. There's comfort blanket. There's weighted comfort blankets. There's vests, the thunder vests. Good night. There is you can drug them. There's like CBD treats and stuff that'll like totally like mellow them out. There's also like prescription stuff, kind of like doggy downers as they call them. They just kind of like bring you, There's all sorts of stuff that you can do, but in all actuality, it stresses them all out, and it's hard.
No. I mean, how could it not? How could it not?
I mean,
it stresses me out, and I'm there, right?
Yeah. I mean, my dog didn't care. Both my dogs don't mind the noise, but there was one out of all the dogs that are here in the house while I'm visiting my in-laws that are just like stressed out about it. And
I dig it. And so rolls amateurs here in St. Louis, we play a real man's game, firework, a gunshot. That's always a good one. It's always a good, especially around July 4th holiday. You don't know for sure.
Oh yeah, this is Houston, baby. Like he's like it's past midnight. That was a gunshot. Fair enough.
Open fire.
No.
So let's talk some game news. What we got for the game news?
So
what happened this week?
Let's just start it off with the big story for today. Actually, so I woke up this morning, and was like, let me check my phone. Oh, we got a new Switch.
Yeah, we got a new Switch.
So this wasn't the Switch you were looking for, folks. I want to put that out there that if you were expecting an upgrade or a version 2 or a Switch Pro, as the news was kind of running around, that is not what we got. We now have an OLED Switch. So they made it instead of a 6.2-inch screen, it's now a 7-inch screen. So less black borders around it.
Okay.
And that's it.
So, especially rated, the new boss is the same as the old boss. Thankfully, I don't need to upgrade. It sounds like there's no reason for me to buy a new Switch. Having adopted late in the game.
So what's interesting is of course there's all sorts of like Twitter drama going on right now because
it's Nintendo.
It was Nintendo, but at the same time, you get a lot of the big YouTube talkers that were just like, oh, they had all their eggs in a basket following. My sources say that this is what's happening, and Bloomberg said this, and all this, and all these leakers said all this stuff that this was going to happen, and then none of it came to fruition.
But they got the hits, right? They got the likes, they got the subscribes.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
They all had. You
don't got to be accurate in this game. You just got to get the hits.
They had the thumbnail, right? The YouTube thumbnail, like. They all have the open up, the open mouth. Yeah.
Well, it is a new SKU, so mess, sort of, right? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, it is a new SKU. No change of memory, no change of CPU, no, from what we know, no generational change or manufacturing change from the NVIDIA X1 Tegra chip that's built into it. No new features except a built-in LAN port on the dock, which means that you now have wired Ethernet on the back, but you lose the rear USB port.
What?
So if you were using that for a USB wireless, for a USB LAN adapter like I am, it doesn't matter. But some people were using it for maybe an external drive or a headphone or audio or headphone jacks, or there was all sorts of like accessories.
Or charging something? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, you could be charging something. Yeah, you could use it for charging, but you still keep the two on the side. So
I'm kidding. I think I use it I used to, but I switched this all up. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's it. It's a nicer looking screen. The Joy-Cons were not redesigned. They were not changed. You got a new color, white, which is all color.
It looks. Let me see if I can bring up this picture here.
Well, it does have It does have USB still on the front. So there used to be two USB on the side of the dock, and then one in the back. And the one in the back was mostly used for, you could buy a USB to Ethernet adapter, plug it in, and then you get Ethernet. They swapped out the USB port for an Ethernet jack and still left you with the two side ones to charge. You could charge like a Pro controller or something like that. So if you want to share that for me. Yeah,
so I mean, I was trying to get rid of the ads here, but when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, look how cute that PlayStation is!" Like that was pretty bad, right?
It's the PlayStation sandwich.
So I was like, "Oh, black and white's kind of a good color. It looks nice. That black screen plugged into the white dock looks okay,
It's like a reverse Oreo.
Yeah, it's like a reverse Oreo. It isn't.
Yeah.
This design here with the like black and white and then black and white for the controller pad just doesn't look good to me. But again,
aesthetics. Your mileage may vary if that's what you
like. Yeah.
Right?
If that's what you like, the black white.
I'm a fan. When Sony does a white controller and a white console and white everything, they tend to do everything white. So it would have been cool if they had just done a full whiteout, like
white
whiteout buttons,
everything,
white thumbsticks, all of that. That would have been pretty neat looking. Kind of give it that that sleeker look. Everyone likes to call it the Apple look, or the go the contemporary look. But yeah, white on something that's meant to be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what ends up happening. So the problem with white, especially the plastic that Nintendo uses,
doesn't matter because you're going to be replacing those Joy-Cons eventually, right?
Yeah, so right. They're all going to drift. So that's also another problem, is we didn't get from Nintendo's own presser, and what everyone is saying is the internals of those Joy-Cons are exactly the same. So no changes whatsoever. So it's a non-news thing. Let me, and again, the defense here is this, and I'm going to just kind of lay it out there for anyone who listens to this after the fact. And for anyone who's like, well, what happened? Why didn't we get the new Switch Pro when it was all rumored? I think, just like all manufacturing processes, is news was out there. I think we are still getting a Pro. I think what happened is that
we can put that up. We can freeze it. Still getting a Pro says.
I think we're still getting a Pro. I think what's happening here is this is a full year of we've got chip shortages, right? NVIDIA, the maker of the chip inside of the Nintendo Switch, the Tegra X1, is just like, they can't deal with manufacturing of their own product. They can't keep video cards and GPUs. So Nintendo's like, we've got a ton that we manufactured already. We got to use them, but we were sitting on this design. Let's just run with a new screen with a more energy efficient OLED. The OLED is going to be technically better for power consumption. It'll be better for battery. It'll be a brighter, more vivid colors, but that's it. I think what's happening is, if they had you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they release what they release right now, people are mad because we didn't get a new version. If they had released a new model and said October 9th is for the release date for this new model, and then they wouldn't have been able to put any on the shelves,
they would be mad.
Everyone would be mad. Like, I can't buy them all. The scalpers.
Who would be thrilled? The scalpers.
The scalpers.
The scalpers.
So I think this is one of those scenarios where, if you were looking to add a secondary Switch to your household for your kids, and maybe you as a gamer, as an older gamer, like, I want the new one. Go buy the new one. You get yourself a nice one with a new screen.
If not, you can skip this generation, right?
Or if not, you can skip to a Pro. Yeah. Or whatever, but this is for the hey, I've had my Switch since launch, it's getting a little ragged, or hey, I've got kids now, let me give them my old one and go buy a new one.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And the scalpers will still make money on this one too.
Of course they will. Although pre-orders have sort of kind of gone up. They haven't, and I mean, the consensus is a lot of people don't want it. But that's also like just the verbal, right? Quietly behind the scenes, people are gonna eat this up. So.
Yes, but I love my Animal Crossing Edition Switch. Mine too. I do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I just got the red one. Like,
look at you with the red one.
I've got the red Mario one that I got I got this February, and I love it. It's just, I do kind of like the other one. It's like, so like, I'm a sucker for this kind of new stuff. So that's definitely for me. I do dig the fact that so one of the biggest changes is on the back right here. Instead of having this stupid thing.
Oh yeah,
that little thing. It's now the whole bottom piece right here flips out like it.
That makes a lot more sense than that little tiny thing that can break.
Yeah. You barely touch it and it just like bloop, bloop falls. Yeah. So that's also a cool feature. So that's exciting that we're getting some sort of update for that. It is slightly like the shapes are a little different. So not all of your accessories that maybe like shells or cases. Most fit, but most of it will fit. I think some very fine-tuned things like grips might not fit anymore. So, but we'll just have there's another SKU out there and more money for accessory makers, right?
Right, exactly. You can reset the Nintendo. This to me when they came out with the Coral Switch Lite. Yep. Confirmed Nintendo will be releasing the Switch Pro to coincide with the Gamma edition of the what? Oh, come on, Rolls. The coronavirus.
Birds aren't real. I believe that. I believe it. I believe it. They're not real, man.
I can't.
At night, they go charge. That's what they do. They go stand on top of the power lines. They're like, oh, they're sleeping. No, they're charging. They're uploading the data.
So you could take all that money you save on not buying the Switch, and you can go out and buy 12 or 13 golden Nintendo Zelda cartridges, and hope that one of them is an ultra rare Zelda cart and make $100,000. Do you want to talk? I love talking about retro gaming collecting because it makes me sad, and also
it does. It only makes me sad as of
friends.
recently. Like the news that this it's just been weird, man. Like this collecting has been really weird. I'm gonna see if I can put this story up. I don't have a dual monitor today, so.
So slow as heck. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
I love this image so much.
I'll put it up. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you put that this right. So apparently there is a sealed copy of Zelda going up. What's it at right now? Like, what are they saying?
It's pre-bidding. The bidding doesn't open until July 9th, but it's at $100,000 already. So take your pennies, break your things, save up some money for this. If you want that rare, super rare golden box, Legend of Zelda box. There we go. It's his bid.
I haven't read this story enough because it just makes me angry that anyone would pay this much for Legend of Zelda.
So angry, Joe can't read it.
But if anyone's read this, like, first off, the Legend of Zelda is one of the most like I've had this rant before on this show. Nintendo games in general like tend to go up in value like this, but first party Nintendo games, The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, especially those two big franchises, there is no reason that any game should be worth as much as it is, only because both of those games have been printed so many times.
Ultra rare. I mean, check it out. It's so rare, Joe. You can't make it stop. It's from the early printing, the first run. Not many of them were made according to
not many of these were made until they made a second printing, which is exactly the same, except a couple letters in the back and probably some.
Everyone knows the first printing's the most important, though. Joe. Come on.
I know. As a comic book geek, I understand it. It just
at all the rupees.
It's infuriating because it goes back to this weird collecting thing. And if you want to pull up that other story of collecting for me, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm on it. I'm like 2 jobs here.
Yeah, you got this. If the other side of the collecting, again, more Nintendo rage and whatnot. If you haven't read, so right now Twitter and Pokemon communities are just raging right now because of this this right here.
We don't have much. We don't have much to do except get mad, right?
Yeah, I know.
This is the one, right? Gary the King Pokemon.
There's this whole video. They're talking about it. They're showing the card, and the card. I think if you scroll down, they've got the video up. But I mean, the idea is that he's showing this card, and the card is a graded card. That's the clip. It's like a 10-second clip. I don't know if you can play it. Just see what happens. It's like a 1-minute clip. But he's showing the card here, and it's signed, but the card isn't signed. It's the case. He's like, the signature means very little. It's like Arita who did the design of Charizard. Yeah, it's signed on the case and not the card. So, I'd never have him sign that card because it's extremely special because it's a Charizard card. But he's the artist of the fucking card. Like,
sorry, it's got subtitles, so I figured I could hear you better.
I don't understand at this point. Like, what are you collecting?
What is it? Look, here's the headline. What is the Pokemon community?
I know.
This is just the latest thing to get them all frothy. Oh man, he's gonna come out and just disrespect him.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize there was like a follow-up video here. So like you heard.
Yeah, well, you talk about how he loves all his art. Some of his favorite, he likes drawing, that sort of thing. So like, what's disgusting about this is the community, right? Like we talked about this before. We talked about all the like freaking like middle-aged men running into the Target to get the cars just to sell. At no point is this now about the cards or about Pokemon or about the art.
It's investment art. It's about the investment, not the artist or the game or the love. I mean, that guy, no disrespect, but he did not look like a typical what you think of as a Pokemon fan, right? That dude looked like the dude who just collects to make money. The guy who will push you out of the way to be first at the target line. No disrespect. People do that. I just say
he disrespected the actual artist. No, I got no love for that guy. I don't care who he is or how much.
I know. I'm trying to be nice. No. Everyone participates in the hobby in their own way, but like this is weird. It's worth a lot of money, and he's disrespecting the artist.
But I remember it's super toxic to the community. It helps nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't give money back to the hobby. It doesn't give money back to to Nintendo. It doesn't give money back to the artist. It doesn't give money back to anybody associated to making more of these cards.
Yes,
it is
becomes collector items.
It is now a third-hand market where the money is just spinning around in like vortex that doesn't affect anybody.
You just want to be the one not holding the bag at the end, right? That's the important part.
Right, it's hot potato, right?
Yeah.
But what's disgusting about it is once you touch that money, that greed kind of seeps in, and you no longer care about the collecting aspect of like the love. You collect about it because you want your next payday.
Yeah, yeah. Or you open a pack at a sealed deck tournament, and you get mad when the person across from you gets a more valuable card, right? That's
right.
That's what the community becomes.
And then in clear Pedro fashion, he then rips it in front of their face, right? That's what
you've got to do these things. You've got to show them the value of the cardboard.
If you're a fan of the show, we've talked about this. Pedro is very famous of doing this. He goes to goes and opens a deck and has the one guy frothing when he pulls a card that's rare.
Sucks his teeth when I get the same card twice in a row. He just gets so mad.
And so what does he do? Pedro goes, this card?
Oh, it makes me so happy. So Rolls said, can't wait to win the lottery, buy something like this, go live to a huge audience, crack open the box and play the game. Yeah, right.
That's what I want to do. Thank you.
How many dreams do we all have of that, right? Opening that Black Lotus card and just being like, I don't need this.
I want to be that guy. That guy that buys that Zelda and takes it onto a show, and they're like, oh, and I just like whip out my pocket knife and I start prying open the box. They're like sitting there staring at me, and I'm like, yeah, go on, keep talking, keep asking me questions. Yeah, and pop it open, and when I get to the box, I like flip it open, and I'm just like, it's stuck, and I just pull and rip the box. I gotta get the cart, and then it's got the black Nintendo sleeve, on it, and I just go, I chunk it.
I don't need this. I got 100 of them.
I go, I blow into the cart and just shove it into my top loader.
People fainting in the background, monocles popping out.
And then I grab it. I pull the cart. I'm like, that's cool. And I shove it next to all 15 other carts that I've got of Zelda sitting on the shelf.
Oh, there. You can live the dream, You can live the dream.
So good.
That's crowdsourcing, right? That's crowdsourcing. Disrespect to the community. That's awesome. Yeah, no, we all dream about that because I don't want to say we love the game, but we do. We love the games. We love playing the games. We experience that opening.
It's about the game playing to me, man. Yeah, it's all about like just play the game, experience the game, know about the story. Maybe if you're invested in that stuff, go look at the lore, go follow the artists, go fan out other ways. I just find that this method of like fandom is not helping the hobby. It's helping yourself line your pockets. And so at some point,
you're a scalper. You're just a scalper in a different version. And you're taking the I guess a way to put it, you're taking the nerd wealth out of the system, right?
Right. Rolls right. So I mean, the guy that bought the Wu-Tang album, I think Wu-Tang got it back as of recently, but it was Farm Bro, right? It was the guy that was hiking up the prices of the EpiPens.
Farmer Bro, yeah, I forget his name, but really, who cares?
He lost all of it, and Wu-Tang was able to get it back and whatever.
Not coincidentally, he had a bunch of Black Lotuses as well. He would collect those, I think, to drive up the price. That's it. Martin Shkreli. And yeah, specialization. You're totally right. I saw that you do art. So of course, this is a great reference. Is that Banksy that's self-shredded after being purchased? So like, I think
beautiful, beautiful. That was so good, so good. So good. That type of that level of performance art is like what art is about.
Also, the millions of dollars that they got for it,
right? And then it had the built-in
both things.
It had the built-in shredder into the frame. It was like
it's good. It's good. I like the little blades. Good. That's genius. That's really good.
So good. So shredded. Yes. But yeah, so that kind of crap is unheard of. Speaking of 90s. Let's talk a little bit about what we got today. Outside of that, Microsoft decided to just do like a weird advertising campaign.
Okay, sure.
And I'm gonna see if I'm gonna share.
That's true. The Banksy was a rare occurrence where that's done actually probably raised the value. I definitely raised the value, right?
Right.
Plus, everyone in that room got an awesome story, right? For being an art.
Right. They were all like, "What?
What?" I was 2 feet away from it. It's spectacular. What are you bringing up, Joe? What are we looking at here?
I got this. So we're gonna share screen because I want to play the video. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Chrome, you want to ask for permissions now. Yeah, so Microsoft decided to go all 90s with us, and they're advertising their all access, or their what do they call it? They're all in, where you can get the Xbox, get Game Pass and
Ultimate
all in one. It's their all access. So basically, if you don't have an Xbox, you can just like pay $20, $24 a month, and you get get an Xbox and Game Pass, and you pay $24.
Wait, did they mail you an Xbox? Is that?
Yeah. So
awesome.
we've talked about this before. They do it. They tend to push more around the holidays, and right around the holidays they'll do this promotion. And what this promotion is it's essentially it's a way for people to get an Xbox and Game Pass and kind of they don't lease it, but you just pay to own $24 a month for 2 years, and I think it adds up to the total amount. You end up saving a bit of money if you were to pay for unlimited.
I remember we were talking about this a while ago, right?
So right.
Lock yourselves into a 2-year contract with this. Yep.
And you could get a Series S or a Series X, and you get this. But they got the band All for One to do this like weird like ad.
Okay, all right.
Of course it's all there. Is the
what year is it? 35 a month. Whoa. 35 a month. That's 2 years, that's like $700 though.
Right, but an Xbox Series X is $500, and paying for Xbox Ultimate.
So there's no sound here, but I think we can all imagine it, right? That's
yeah.
You could totally get all that if it's in stock. That's true. What are we trying to get? Pay to own? Yeah, well, I mean, we all pay to own it. Some folks pay all of it in advance. Some folks
some people charge it on their credit card. And then
some people scalp 5 systems before they own their own system, right? We all do it a little differently. That outfit is, I mean, I can almost hear it.
Yeah.
What's going on with the candle? I'm gonna have to watch this now. This is ludicrous.
It's completely 90s style R&B.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's all there. I swear, is because you actually save like $80 in the long run with all access. There you go.
Right.
So
there you go, Chance. You got it. Yeah, it is actually like you do save just a tiny bit, and it works out.
It's almost like a cell phone contract. Again, proving that Xbox and Microsoft isn't about their console sales. They're about providing that service, because once you've done 2 years, you probably lock yourself in for longer. Or you pay for it and then you stay in the ecosystem.
You get hooked, right? It's heroin. Like
well, I mean, it's not heroin. You just get used to the luxury of having a new game to play whenever you want a new game to play.
That's kind of the same thing.
I know.
I mean, like, honestly,
play video games instead of do heroin. Everybody play video games. They want you in the ecosystem, and more importantly, they want you out of the other folks' ecosystem, right?
So let's talk about that for a second, because I know that you have been a Game Pass as long as I have.
Can Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo just go ahead and screw us all by moving to the cell phone model? This is, in fact, them doing it, Rolls. This is the old cell phone model where you'd pay for a phone, you'd lease it.
But Rolls, let's talk about that for a second, because for a very long time, people were like, I don't like this method of not owning my device.
Yep.
And then, so all cell phone manufacturers and all providers were like, fine, we won't subsidize the price anymore.
Yep.
So now everyone complains about, why are cell phones $600? I remember when I paid $199 for my iPhone. Why are they $1,000 now? It's like, well, you didn't want subsidized. If you think that iPhone back in 2009 was only $199.
Also, in 11 years, they haven't driven down the price of these components. Like, they have not made their logistics better by selling 1 billion effing phones. They're pocketing all that money. I mean,
yes and no. So
no logistics savings.
The scenario is that
TVs have gotten cheaper. Why not my phone?
With cell phones, they have to R&D a whole new SoC, a whole new chip. So because they're competing. So with competition comes a processor and speed race, right? A TV, for example, the components on a TV, well, there are new models every year. A 4K TV is a 4K TV. Technically, with a cell phone, if you don't care about speed and cost, you can go buy yourself a $100 prepaid phone and pop your SIM card and you're good to go. But then you complain about how slow it is or how, so the idea is these app developers make apps. Well, they make these games and applications to the flagship. They program against the flagship, and if it runs on anything below that, well, then, that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
But so as new phones progress, they're fighting back and forth on who's got the faster phone, who's got the better phone, who's got the more features.
I get it.
So all of that is R&D.
The 5Gs and all the other stuff and all that crap.
Right. So same thing.
Chance, I'm with you. Like every day or so, I'm like, maybe I don't want this smartphone anymore. It's just, maybe I just want a flip phone, and nobody calls me anyway, and I can just text, and it takes me 30 minutes to text.
Yeah,
nobody
but
gets to reply.
So this was a fantastic roles, by the way. Thank you for bringing this into the cell phone.
Bring back the sidekick. That's right.
Let's talk about cell phones and that awesome application that you found out about this weekend.
Oh my gosh! I'll
bring it up. You talk about it. You got to use it.
Yeah, I did use it. So bring it up. It's called Brickit. Brickit, which sounds like something you do to a phone by accident, right? Now that I say it out loud. But you take your Legos, and we all have Legos, right? We're nerds, so we all have Legos. You take your Legos and you spread them out in a nice pile, take a picture of them, and then this thing does basically, I don't want to say facial recognition, but does Lego piece recognition.
It does like an AI. It actually uses it's machine learning.
And then gives you ideas on what you could build with these pieces, connects it to sets. It's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. So let me show you. So here's these these particular little builds
tiny
are small
builds. Yeah.
But let me see if they've got a little on their website here. If they've
can't believe they don't have an example. So it does this neat futuristic all the way across. I thought it was cool because I took a picture of my daughter's Legos, which of course were on the floor in a pile. I kind of put them together. We took a picture of it, and I showed it to her what she could build with it, and she immediately wanted to try finding the pieces. Right, so and the picture, since you already took a picture of it, it actually highlights the pieces as you go through the instructions where they are in that pile. And Joe sent it to me, and I say to Joe immediately, finally the future app on my phone that I want is here, right? It just becomes this amazing thing. It's just, these are all just creations that they have here. It's
all of these little creations right here are little creations.
Check it out. It's called Brickit. It does this really cool thing.
Only on iPhone at the moment. There is a Android app. It's coming in the fall is what they said.
Who cares about the Android app? Come on.
But yeah, so the idea here is let me see if they've got, I'm trying to find the I think you have to log in to see the video, but they've got a the way it works is it's very AI oriented, so it uses machine learning is why they're harnessing some of that machine learning API that Apple provides, and it uses a little augmented reality.
And I only have to give them access to my photos, my address, my social security number, all the stuff that you really have to give. Cautious Android master race.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Please refrain from spamming caps.
Yeah, the API for Apple and their AR has been pretty cool, and so developers have jumped on it a little early on.
For those of you with nephews, nieces, and kids of your own, it seems like a neat way to immediately generate an activity, right? The things are really small, right? So they're little small builds. You can be like, hey, build this, and have them do a scavenger hunt inside the pieces. Keep it clean, Chance. Keep it clean.
Anywho, but yeah, no. I love it. I love the idea of it. I found the developer ended up in my feed on and I kind of looked at it and I was like, what is this? What is this magic? And so as soon as I pulled out, you pull out your phone and you pointed at the Lego pieces, it was like.
It's really cool to watch.
What's interesting is it's very. Do you remember the scene in Lego the movie, the Lego movie, where he's like, "I'm a master builder," and the screen goes dark, and then all of a sudden you see all the pieces and the numbers of those pieces. That's exactly what happens on the screen, and all of a sudden it does. And what's nice is he was telling me, we were chatting back and forth about it. He goes, not only does it do that, as long as you don't move the pieces, you can actually find the piece and it'll go and highlight it back on the picture. So you're like, where is that piece? So you tap on it and it goes,
it'll highlight all of the 2 pieces bricks that you have there. So if you're trying to build this and you can't find the yellow one that the thing is asking for, you can go and find a brown one or a green one. It shows you all of the pieces where they are. It's sort of like the cool modern technology thing that
it's what we were wanting our cell phones to do and our pocket computers to be able to do.
I haven't tried it yet, but apparently if you have a set, you can register that set, right? Mm-hmm. So now you can say, this is a set I already own. It's a Star Wars X-Wing. If you break it apart and throw it into a pile of pieces, it can find those pieces for the set. Is what it would the advanced version of it can do. So that's going to be ridiculous.
What's really sad about this is, as much as I love this, and I'm so glad this is an indie developer that does it. This sounds to me like some amazing tech that they are pitching so that Lego pays them big bucks to get built into the Lego app.
Or anybody. I mean, imagine that sort of pattern recognition for recycling companies. That's like a nice thing. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, like just AR stuff, right? That kind of pattern recognition is ridiculous. Puzzles. You can solve puzzles in minutes, seconds, because it's already put together all the pieces. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So I thought that was a pretty cool segue there to talk about that because, we can bitch about phones and technology all we want, but that's actually a really useful app. So if you got kids if you're just a Lego guy and you got a bucket of Legos, go download the app. It's free on iPhone or iPad. And
Defense Department. It's probably from the Defense Department, if we're honest, right? It started there and then it came over here. So there we go. I don't want to forget to do this, so I just want to. This week is Games Done Quick, right? So if you like speed runs, you like retro games, which I know a lot of us do. Games Done Quick is going on this week. Of course, they're doing the fundraising and all that good stuff. There's a really cool video of a Ninja Gaiden pacifist speedrun, which, like, a Ninja Gaiden speedrun already blows my mind, Joe.
Yeah, man, it does. It really does.
But then this guy's doing a pacifist run, and it's not often I'll watch a full 15-minute run. But it's ridiculous. Though, what am I going to do with all the extra time I say?
1x2 piece.
I don't know, man, but multiply it over all the times you've spent looking for that 1x2 piece, right? So
right.
You can save a lot of time. It's in the aggregate, specialization is overrated, right? It's the efficiencies, granted. There's a level he does like 2-2, which I remember giving me just conniptions. He does it so fast and so amazingly. What's always wild to me about these speedruns is that these folks are so good at this, Joe, that they're talking while doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. If this was me, I'd be like, "Shut up! Don't talk."
I'd be biting my tongue the whole way, like trying to focus and zoom. A Ninja Gaiden pacifist speedrun is ridiculous. He also knows
this doesn't mean that it's a no death run. It means that you just got to beat the game.
No, he's talking about at one point like the optimum times to die in order to be refreshed at life so he can take damage to run to the next level, right? Like he knows this stuff cold as to when he should take damage, like the perfect bouncing to jump through, to glitch through.
That was nice. So he took the damage there on purpose to get thrown against the wall.
And that moment of invulnerability, which is also important, right? So you get through the guys. He also talks about how there's some folks that shoot those three bullets. As long as you keep up those 3 bullets on the screen, the enemies can't fire another set of 3 bullets because there's a limited number of pixels.
A little number of frames that can be on that particular buffer. No,
exactly.
I get it.
You can take advantage of it. It's like I said, a 15-minute run of Ninja Gaiden is like amazing. Like that. I mean, it would take me 15 minutes just to get to the first level. I mean, whatever. I'm lying. I don't think I ever beat Ninja Gaiden out of frustration for this game.
No. You want to know why? Because of those birds.
Because of the birds. Because of the
worst thing in this game.
He doesn't use any weapons. He doesn't use any scrolls. He only uses his sword to beat the bosses. So these are like self-restricted rules. It's ridiculous. What gets me is that these guys will spend hours and hours going after something that might be RNG down. He talks about this. Down to like 1 time of 1,000 that has to be coupled with something that's 1 out of 100. You're totally right, Rolls. He talks about like level 2 being RNG dependent, and at one point he's excited because he gets through a point where he didn't get hit with the hammer because of the RNG. So like these folks are all about minimizing the impact of RNGs. This is like the Iron Man tournaments. This is like the ridiculous sort of Spartan things that athletes would do. Those fucking birds.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone's fucking birds, man.
But he knows what he's doing, and he takes that damage at just the right point. You see him die here twice. He goes back and does it again. So that's added into his run, but he's okay with it because he's like world champion, shaved a bunch of seconds off. Just remembering those, I'm getting PTSD.
Yeah, man, the bats and the birds on this game are just like
so well done, Ito. Right, just a fantastic run. It's on Games Done Quick. You can go to their website. They're doing, they collect donations and stuff like that. It's just amazing what people can do. I mean, I'm still appalled at Pacifist Ninja Gaiden run, right? Like that's just I walked away from this game more violent most days. To come out of it, Pacifist is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing, and he's got a great voice, and he's super knowledgeable, and he's talking through it because again, speedrunners and this retro game community are all about sharing this knowledge to push the limits of how fast you can beat these games. So he talks about how he's taking damage there and why, so that the younger generation of speedrunners can go in there and try it that way and get to the levels and experiment and beat his records.
Yeah, I've always been interested about how speedrunners start. Like, first off, obviously, you don't always have to be good at the game. That's what's great is you when you listen to these people talk about it, they go, I've always really wanted to play. I always really wanted to play Mega Man 4. And Mega Man 4 was the one that I wasn't very good at back in the day. So I just sat down one weekend and and just worked at it. And like I remembered all this, and all of a sudden they're talking about like specific frames, and they're talking about. I'm like, I have played these games a billion times, and I couldn't tell you all that. So
watching him beat the bosses, like he knows exactly where to stand, where the pixels will not hit him, right?
Yeah. Like the hitbox sizes.
The hitbox size is just perfect. So again, Games Done Quick. A lot of folks doing that sort of awesome stuff. Last time I checked, they were doing Castlevania, which is another one that gave me conniptions, right? So I'll go out there and enjoy that Games Done Quick if you're looking for some awesome gaming, retro gaming.
So let's talk. If we're gonna do retro, let's talk about this fantastic new project that just launched, and you can go download it right now. If you are a fan of the Star Wars, we now have a full-on remake or total conversion of one game to turn it into TIE Fighter.
Look at that gorgeous. Look at the polygons from I like the old one better. No, the new one looks gorgeous. That's like X-Wing though. This looks like as good as X-Wing Squadrons, which is out.
Yeah. I mean, it's let's see if we can
gorgeous.
So it's a total conversion. It took them a long time to do this. I mean, this is a 3-minute video. You can see like they've redone everything.
TIE Fighter is the best, even though you have to play the Empire, right? It is the best of the series. You're a total conversion. We love you too, Chance. We love you too.
So yeah, play the entire campaign, and then plus they created a whole new single player, like campaign. I love the going back and forth and showing what they've.
Of course, that's what you do when you do a dope ass spring. Alliance is $3 right now on Steam, which is what this is built on. There you go. Oh, I remember that mission. Woo! I can't play the Empire. Can't bring myself to do it. This guy's going after a Y-wing. See, it just seems wrong. Joe's on his laptop, which is why we don't get sound. Right? It's a jury rig.
Yeah. It's tough to kind of play the sound and do all that all at once.
Oh, I'm gone. We can only
there you
hear
go.
the TIE Fighter screech.
It's a mess. Sorry, I'm on my laptop and I didn't have my chance to hook up my second screen and whatnot. Right, but I get to do that. Works. But either way, go check it out if you're a PC gamer and enjoy the original TIE Fighter. Go check out the total conversion. They've got instructions on how to kind of like get it all set up and ready to go. But it's fun. It's a fan project, and again, it's one of those that might disappear one day because Disney.
Boo.
You see years and years of work, but hopefully those guys end up getting jobs with good studios, or they end up starting their own studio. That's kind of always the benefit of all of these. What else is? One more story real quick, and I guess one of the big ones before the end of the night. Good. That's a good one.
Did y'all notice that Sky, the makers of Journey, came out of the Switch yesterday? No, I didn't, Rayo. That's pretty cool. Is it anything like Journey? Which I vaguely remember from way back when. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Journey's a good one.
Chance asks a question.
So this is an interesting one. Hans Zimmer has a very distinct sound, and so does John Williams, right? So they're both They're both. I think it's hard to choose which one is which because, or which one I like more because it really depends on the project. Like that's like saying John Williams. I mean, if we're talking about like Superman, for example, like the Superman, the original 1978 Superman movie has John
Iconic.
Williams, iconic, the iconic, the intro, dun, 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 but at the same time, that's John Williams, right? It sounds very much like the Star Wars theme and all that. He's very bombastic with the horns and the kind of that intro sound. Hans Zimmer's version of like his soundtrack with Man of Steel is so iconic in my head, of course. But it's never going to be as iconic as the John Williams one. So, John Williams, without a doubt, the John Williams. John Williams
also, Christopher Reeve's Superman, right? There's no doubt about that either.
Right, like Christopher Reeve Superman is the Superman that I grew up with, and I love and I love and I love. I mean, as I got older and as I read more mature Superman books, and we got like Post Crisis and all that, there's definitely a change in what I wish Superman. I wish I could see a movie directed with the love of the 1978 Superman movie, with modern kind of tellings of all that. And with that said, that's Superman.
Only with the digitally removed mustache. That's the only one I like. All the other Supermans I hate.
I love Christopher Reeves as his persona. I think nowadays it's a little dated, but it's still a beautiful, like his acting is so good in that movie when you really see it. Like the way he like holds his shoulders to like be Clark, and then like in the next frame, like you could just see him kind of just like really straighten himself up and just like really
why are we talking about Superman again?
But again, that said, well, we have to talk about it because Richard Donner passed away over the weekend. Right. And that's a big important director. If you're a fan of Goonies, if you're a fan of the Lethal Weapon series, if you're a fan of Superman.
I thought Spielberg did Goonies. Am I crazy?
You're very crazy, sir.
Yeah,
Spielberg
all right.
did not do that. It was Richard Donner.
There we go.
And
all right.
There is definitely a lot of love for Richard Donner. His influence. I mean, we could talk about this till the cows come home, but without the 1978 Superman movie and the matureness of that Superman franchise, with the way he took Superman by taking a comic book that was meant for kids and making it towards adults, we wouldn't have comic book movies the way we have them now. And as a matter of fact, you've got Steven Spielberg's already said that. You've got a bunch of directors. Kevin Feige from Feige, I can never say his name right, from Marvel and Disney. He pretty much was like, we're influenced because of him. Richard Donner, his vision of that particular movie and the way he did like Goonies. Like, again, I mean, we've seen so many movies from here on out that are so influenced with that Goonies style that he did, that like, let's take a band of kids and just make the kids the leads, make the kids the focal point of the movie, not have to go to the adults constantly. Yeah, that's always kind of an interesting view when you watch that movie. You're like, where are their parents? I wonder what was going on. Did the parents worried? Did anything happen? We don't care.
Man, back then kids just disappeared for 12 hours and forever gone. So wait, so Rio and Chance are talking about this Sky game. I was just going to throw it up there for a second since they
go for it. Put it up there. Put it up there.
Is it this one? This Children of Light game? Is that what they're talking about? They keep calling it Sky.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Can you hear it okay?
No sound.
Oh.
But that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to put sound. I just want to see the visuals. It's free to play.
This does look really pretty.
Sky, huh?
Wow.
That is a good question. It was Goonies before Stand By Me. I will I'll pull that up.
So wait, this is free to play on the Switch?
I don't know.
That's pretty neat.
So Goonies is 1985.
That looks cool. I'm gonna have to give that a try then. If it's free to play, let's put that.
Stand By Me is 1986. So technically, Goonies is first.
There you go. Technically, which is the best kind of correct, everyone.
Well, I mean, when I say technically, I mean they were released, but that doesn't mean that one was actually created one before the other, right? Like, you could have had one sitting in the can. I mean, Stand By Me could have been made before, and then
that's true.
Release dates were pushed, that sort of thing.
That's true.
So one influenced
Stand by
somebody
Me
else.
is the River Phoenix one, right? Is that the okay? All right. And the soundtrack is amazing. It's free on mobile. Is it a multiplayer game? This Sky game is that what we're looking for here? A multiplayer game? Looks great. Give it a whirl. Check it out.
So who here in chat or whatever has an Oculus? I'd like to ask because it's become kind of the popular thing. Most people tend to have the new Oculus Quest 2.
You sent me one, right?
Yeah, it's sitting there.
I'm the worst. It's in a protective dust cover. I'm not an animal.
So I asked that because a buddy of mine, Carlos, if he's watching or watches this later, I want to make sure he gets the props. He pointed me towards the direction of this game that got released recently. It's called Demio, and it is a fantastic dungeon crawling game. It's great.
So it looks like Hero Quest in 3D. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It looks like
it's I don't know. I mean, maybe look.
All right. Because they said it was turn-based. You've got dice. You got to. So we got Specialization is overrated. Had one, sold it. Rio says his cousin has one, right?
Yeah. So let me see if I can pull up a video for it, and I could talk a little bit about it. But the Demio is essentially it's a dungeon crawling game. It's got 2 campaigns at the moment. They're going to keep releasing chapters in the story is the way it works.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you start in you pick 4 characters. There is a sorcerer, a guardian, or basically a paladin or a warrior, however you want to call it, more of a paladin, and then an assassin or the rogue, the sorcerer or the wizard, and then the ranger, the archer, and it's a fun little game, man. Like you pick a character and you hop in, you get 4 people on, and it randomly generates the dungeon, and you kind of run through it. And there are your attacks. You have a card deck. It's
like a card-based game.
Yeah. So what's the controls are really intuitive because let me see if I can do this.
Joe can't talk and find things at the same time.
Sorry, I'm trying to get tabs all set up. All right.
You got some tabs you don't want to accidentally share? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, I could share a tab. I didn't even know you can do that.
You can share a tab, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got a really great gameplay mechanic where it just works pretty well.
I like turn-based. I dug the neat, like every VR person has like a cool mask around the table, so it looks like you're playing sort of an interactive table. You're talking about the new D&D? No. Well, no, we're not. We shouldn't talk about it because I've got no good things to say about that D&D MMO game.
But no good things to talk about what?
D&D MMO game that came out, the D&D game.
Oh, Dark Alliance.
I got nothing good to say about it. I'm so sorry. I know you had a buddy.
I know that's fine. That's fair. It's totally he's totally okay.
Everyone worked hard on it. I don't want to disparage it, but it's not fun to play. The controls are wonky as hell. It's not. There was no payoff for the amount of time I put into it.
So this one is exactly what I'm looking for in that style of game. It's 4 players jump in. The controls are really intuitive in the sense that you're actually in a basement, and it's a gaming table, which is what's cool, right? And so you don't see anyone's face. You see floating hands. The AI, the control scheme is very intuitive. You pick up your character, you move them around, to show your attacks or your cards. You literally grab your controller and when you flip your hand over, all your cards fan out in your hand. And so you're like, I want to use this one, and you grab it and you drop the card on your character. But you really can really get in the table and you
can zoom in, get your character's perspective. Sure.
It's just great. There's built-in chat. There's again, if you're looking for a way to play kind of like a D&D light.
Yeah, it's got no DM, so you're sort of playing against a programmed.
Well, what's nice is
algorithm.
There is a DM. There is a floating DM that's kind of telling the story and kind of manipulating. And so when the monsters move in, it's it's time to move the monsters now. And so it moves, and it is kind of it's obviously inspired by D&D and tabletop.
Yeah.
But
D&D session in VR, so you don't get the role playing aspect, right? It's more of a board gamey game. I think more of like Descent, Journeys into the Dark.
Yeah.
Or Hero Quest is another good example of this kind of genre. It looks fantastic. It looks fun. What does VR add though? That's the part that I'm like, because you can zoom in. So
they are making a flat version, right?
Okay, all right.
So this isn't a game that won't come out. But what I really like about it is if you get 4 players, okay, and you sit down and play. First off, it's a way to kind of have that like moment with 4 people, obviously, right?
Yep. Which we all
second,
need.
Because they don't just drop you in a game world and you're just like in the game world, they put you in a virtual basement and then put the game world. It's that same feeling we got when we played a tabletop simulator.
Yeah, so you feel like you're actually
you still feel like you're playing a tabletop game. So that's also something that's a disconnect, right? Like playing a game, like hopping on an Xbox and sitting on the couch and playing Dark Alliance, just an example.
Yeah, step 1, make 3 other friends, right?
Make 3 other friends. Make sure. Step 2, have 3 friends that have had
Oculus headsets.
Obviously. Well, the nice part is this was a good time to release it. The game is only $29. And the Oculus Quest has become kind of the go-to. It's like the Switch of headsets right now.
Come with 3 other friends.
It should.
You can play with the other 3 Oculus owners. Specialization is over.
Actually, I've got about 8 people that I know with Oculus, and they've all been picking it up. So like, I'm just going to defend it a little bit. But no, that's it. I mean, if you've got a chance to pick up a headset, or like I said, it is compatible with Steam and any headset that is Steam compatible. So it's not just Oculus. But if you have an Oculus Quest 1 or 2, it's self-contained. So you just download it and play it right on the headset. So you don't
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So that's what's neat. It's really beautiful. Every so often when I'm playing it, because there is a scrimmage mode, you can play it by yourself. And you control 3 other.
You play it by yourself.
You can, and I have friends that play it as well. So
like doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, so you move your characters around, but what's really fun is, like I said, you kind of move around, and looking around corners is important. Like, it actually does mask it off. It's everything I wish Roll20 would do.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing a rogue, right? So the assassin character, and he's got a backstab and all of that. And so like you go stealth, and like when you go stealth, all of a sudden he's kind of like transparent a little bit and kind of has like an effect marker. But then you move it around the corners, and you can actually peek around the corners and take a step out, and the monsters won't interact like they won't, but you can now see them. Yeah. And the wizard has like effects where he's got he's got a specific spell that you can cast where he puts a floating eye that anything that the eye can see, you can now see. So you can throw that around the corner.
Straight out of D&D, right? Yeah. That's awesome.
So all of a sudden, you now know where they're at. So I mean, it's like I said, all these spells. There's Mark of the Wild. There's all of the. I think it's just straight D&D, but not without the license.
And it's card based, so it's a lot easier to grok, a lot easier to pick up. So that's
right. Money. There's money piles all over. After every floor of the dungeon, you get to a merchant spot where you can buy more cards. When you open chests, the loot gets automatically sent out to everybody, even if you're not near them. If you
great.
If you walk up to a health well, there's like these like fountains that heal you. It heals the entire party.
I think I read all the garbage stuff that would just take time, so you could focus on
so you just focus on the play. But
killing, looting, sneaking.
It would be like if someone took Diablo in a way, but still made it tabletop. Like it's still miniatures that you move around on the board, but then they do interact like that, like battle chess.
I got it. Yeah, no, it looked like they were trash talking to each other. They were having a good time playing the game, announcing things that they could see, but everyone could see it. I dug the masks. I don't know.
Yeah, and of course, as you play the game, you unlock skins and masks and whatnot, so that you can kind of like do all of that. But I haven't seen any. There is no DLC for the game. There is no like extra pay, and they've I said. Well, I mean, Oculus doesn't really have a lot of that, unless it's the only game that I've seen that does that is Beat Saber, where you buy more songs.
Gotcha. I mean, chapter 3, 4, 5, who knows if they need to charge a little bit to keep that development going. If you really like it, you of course should do so. Yeah,
you definitely should. But I mean, again, if you've got any type of access to VR, go check it out. For $29, it's a blast. If you're looking for if you're trying to get a tabletop fix without being able to get maybe friends that don't live near you.
But do have Oculi.
Do have Oculises? Oculuses.
All right,
whatever.
Ended on a verbal faux pas. We have no idea how to pluralize
oculi, right? We're gonna.
I'm pretty sure it's oculi.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's call the marketing folks there and figure it out.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much again. 1 hour into the show, we'll end it pretty quickly. I'll be back in my regular environment next week. Like, subscribe, share, tell everyone about us, tell everyone how much we suck. Tell them to come razz me.
Come and razz me. Thanks everyone who jumped on. Plus Jason, Rio, Adam, Rolls, all the folks that jump on to chat with us. Chance, thanks for jumping on because this show would be absolutely terrible without you. So
that's
appreciate
right.
You all chit chatting with us. It's good. Fun.
Everyone have a good rest of the week. We are in July. If you are in Canada, stay cold. If you're in Texas, we're only 80 degrees, so we're good. So.
It's because you all got together and set the ACs at the right level.
Right? That's right. we're controlling global warming properly, baby. Take care, everyone. Another episode in the can.
Yes. Be kind.
Be kind.